Welcome back, trainers. So I just went over the Ralts Community Day that was just announced, discussing the moves that they can potentially learn, and I'm leaning towards more of the Psyshock. Now, are we going to see multiple days for this? I don't think so. They would have announced it much like they did for the Eevee Community Day. So we're going to be shifting to Saturday, and the hours are going to be between 4 and 7, and this is going to be on Saturday. So make sure you mark your calendars because you probably do not want to miss this, even though the specific move that they may be learning not so beneficial for PvE, but for PvP it might show some true potential. I'm also going to be going over how you can preparate for this, as well as little tips in between, because as you may know, Gallade is actually going to take a Cinna Stone to evolve, so if you do not have any of those, well, it's going to probably be time to get on that and possibly get as many as you can. So this is not going to be the first time we see in a community day which a Pokemon is going to require a Cinna Stone, and if you're a little concerned about that because you do not have any, I think you'll be okay, because last time Niantic did make it so you were able to battle the actual team leaders up to 5 times to receive those Cinna Stones, and or a trainer battle, so you were able to get, I do believe, 10 of those. So that should be pretty interesting, and you should be okay in that regard. And if you do want to see the video in which I did discuss the moves that they could possibly potentially be learning other than Psyshock, I will be putting a card at the top right now, so you can go ahead and click on that and check that video out. Alright, so now we're looking at PvE, going up against gyms and raids here. And if you're wondering, okay, well, if they do receive Psyshock, where are they going to land? Well, they're going to be 5th, I do believe, for the best psychic type attackers. You have Gallade and then Gardevoir, both with the same DPS. So you're going to have pretty much all the other psychic types outperforming it with different psychic moves like Zen Headbutt and Future Sight, and even Psycho Cut and Psychic. So they're just not going to be doing that well. But we still do not know the exact move that it is going to receive. But what it looks like is Gardevoir, I would say the best move that could possibly learn is going to be Moonblast. And even then, Dazzling Gleam is still going to be doing a good amount of damage over that. I wouldn't say way outperforming it, but it's still going to be decent as a 2-charge bar move. As far as Gallade is concerned, it can possibly learn Drain Punch, which should give it some good usability as a fighting type attacker. Is it going to outperform Machamp or other fighting types like Breloom? Not quite. It is going to be decent, but with that low kick quick move, it's just not looking too hot for it. And that's going to bring me to my next subject, and that's going to be their Mega Evolutions. Alright, so we do have their Mega images pulled up here. As far as that Gardevoir CP, that is definitely not going to be its Mega's max potential CP. It's going to be a little bit higher than that. I'm not going to be putting those numbers up for you because things are subject to change in the future, and Mega Evolutions are at least 3 years down the line from now. We could see them sooner, because we did see the Alolan Pokemon introduced at a very early stage, so you never know what they have up their sleeve to pull off some magic and make a ton of people come back because of those. But anyways, when they do announce the moves, if they're not that great, don't get too disappointed quite yet. Yes, they might not have the best potential in the PvE, but they just may work great for PvP. And on the flip, when they do receive their Megas, this community day did roll around, and if you just had them sitting around with these moves that were potentially not so great when they did get those on community day, they do have Megas in which they can possibly start performing magnificent with these possible community day moves. Another example is going to be Ampharos. Now that one is an electric type Pokemon, but when it does receive its Mega Evolution, it will be electric and dragon type. So if you're a little confused when you're around for that one for the Mareep Community Day, and the Ampharos did receive that silly Dragon Pulse move, and if you still have them sitting in your inventory like these are absolutely useless, well, think again, because when it does receive that Mega Evolution, splitting off into a part dragon type as well, it's going to become a lot more useful, and you might just see exactly what Niantic was possibly trying to hint to us all those years ago when Mega Evolutions do come out. So pretty much, guys, if the move is announced, it's not so great, that's alright. I would still make quite a few of them. I'm not going to say make a full team or anything, but you never know, depends on what is announced. If it's Moonblast for Gardevoir, then hey, that may be fun for you. And if it's Drain Punch for Gallade, then hey, that's awesome as well. So we'll just see what happens. But like I said in my previous video, you're probably going to want to make a few of these for the Great League, so try to find those lower CP ones with the lower attack for PvP. Now I will answer this question not 100% thoroughly, but I will give you the gist of it. Why do you want the lower attack for PvP in the Great League at least? That is because if you have high IVs in attack, the CP is going to weigh much higher than usual. And in PvP, the attack IV does not really matter. It's not going to give you too much benefit whatsoever. So if you can get that Pokemon to a potentially higher level, that's not CP, because if you do have that lower IV in attack, you will have lower CP, therefore being able to power it up even more than usual with that lesser attack in the IV and giving it better potential for that Great League. That sums it up in the nutshell there, guys. It gets a little bit more detailed, but I'm not going to get too complicated. So they do have Mega Evolutions. They can turn out to be fantastic in the future, much like Ampharos and that surprise Dragon Pulse that they did give us, and we're all like, what is going on here? Except for I knew all along, as well as, you know, a few other people out there who know and have an idea as to what Niantic is doing here. Alright trainers, now one more time to be crystal clear as to when this is all going down here. It is going to happen August 3rd, and it's going to be on Saturday this time, not Sunday, so make sure you take note of that. Do not want to miss this, because Shiny Ralts is still pretty awesome to have, even though if it may receive not such a great Community Day move. But anyways, August 3rd, Saturday, from 4 p.m. till 7, you'll be looking good there. Featured Pokemon Ralts, of course, move to be announced, 3-hour lures like usual, and then you have 1/4 egg distance. So that's pretty good. If you have super incubators, make sure you throw those on and hatch them as quick as possible. It's not going to be necessary to use your super incubators. If you have regular ones, then go ahead and use those, because it's 1/4 hatch distance, which is pretty significant, and you'll be able to get quite a bit of Stardust, as well as popping on one of those star pieces, so you can collect even more Stardust when you do hatch, and of course when you do catch. Alright, now as far as the Cinna Stones go, like I said, they'll probably let you do a bunch of battles and receive a Cinna Stone every single time, up to 10 times, I do believe, like the Swine Up Community Day. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at my inventory. Maybe you should check yours out too to see how much you can have. So I do have 53, ridiculous amount there. How can you prepare yourself to receive even more, because say you want more than 10 for some reason? Well, go ahead and battle the team leader and do 3 trainer battles a day. Now I'm going to tell you this, I don't know if this is a glitch, but I know exactly, well, I don't know exactly, but I know kind of the reasoning behind this. When I do battles in PvP against other trainers, say I do my 3 battles and I get my 3 rewards, not guaranteed Cinna Stones yet, but they're a possibility of showing up. I'll get those, and say I do like 10 more battles. All of a sudden I start receiving more items and more rewards for these PvP battles against other trainers. Now, there can be one reason behind this, and it is going to be if somebody else you are battling in a long distance, say you have Ultra Friends and you're battling somebody across the world, either a new day has begun for them and that is why you're receiving those items, or the game is just, I don't know if it's a feature or a glitch, and you're just going to be getting those items yet again. It happens to me once in a while. I do know if somebody else is in a different time zone and it's a new day over there, then you will start receiving those items if you do battle them, but otherwise, I don't know, it just happens once in a while, and it's pretty funny. And hey, can't complain about extra items. And with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That really does help me. Share it with your friends, and I will be keeping you posted on everything you need to know about Pokemon Go as the news comes out. Now let's go ahead and take a look at something kind of a little relevant, I suppose. Psychic type Pokemon going up against a Gengar here, and specifically the Mewtwo, and then we have the Armor Mewtwo, and then followed up by the Mew. Now the Mew does have Dazzling Gleam, not necessarily ideal to go up against a Gengar because it's resisted, but just disregard that, and let's just take a look and see how well the Mewtwo with Armor is going to perform next to the regular Mewtwo. Thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll catch you all next time.